Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the second online class of the Advanced 3 course from CELEX 15. I am teacher Ivan Lopez, and today we're gonna start studying the unit number 5 at our students' books, which is titled Looking Ahead. So you need to go to page number 38, please. And well, as you can see in this unit, we're going to study grammatical future forms, the hot verbs take and put, and we're also going to practice useful phrases for talking over the phone. Well, first of all, let's start checking the test your grammar section at this blue square that we have here. The introductory question at point number 1 says, which future form expresses? And there, as you can see, we have a white box with 6 different functions of a future that we can give in English. So the first function is an intention, the second, a prediction, the third, a future fact based on a timetable, the fourth, an arrangement between two people, the fifth, a spontaneous decision, and the sixth, a suggestion. Well, what you need to do here is to relate every of these functions to the following 6 statements. The number 1 says, tomorrow's weather will be warm and sunny. Number 2, the train to Dover leaves at 10 past 10. Number 3, I'm going to be a racing driver when I grow up. Number 4, we're seeing Sue on Thursday. Number 5, shall we have a break now? Number 6, I'll make some coffee. Well, so if you want, we can do number 1, as we usually do, as an example. So, which function do you think this sentence is doing? Tomorrow's weather will be warm and sunny. Well, as you may have seen, this is a prediction because we are speculating the conditions for the weather for tomorrow, of course. Well, so now you need to continue doing the same. You need to relate the corresponding function to the correct sentence. You should take around 2 or 3 minutes to do this. Okay, so when you have finished this, you can now go to the point number 2 and you need to name the different future forms. It means that you need to identify which grammatical tense corresponds to every of these 6 sentences. Once again, we can do the number 1 as an example. As you can see, the first sentence is future simple because it is a combination of will, that we have here, plus an infinitive, in this case, the verb to be. The number 2, for example, is present simple. Sometimes we can use present simple to talk about the future, like in this case when we are talking about timetables or fixed schedules for events. The number 3 corresponds to the form of going to plus infinitive. I'm going to be, like here. The number 4 is present continuous. That also sometimes we can use in English to express a future event. We're seeing Sue on Thursday. The number 5 is an invitation because we're using shall plus an infinitive. Shall we have? And finally, in the number 6, we have future simple again because it's a combination of will plus an infinitive, in this case, make. Alright, so now we're going to put this into practice at the next section. The section name is, how do you see your future? Well, so the first indication here is that we need to look at the people that we have on the pictures in this page 38 and also in the next one. And we need to identify who is saying what. So we need to number them from 1 to 6 next to the names. In this case, well, lamentably, we don't have the listening tracks, but actually you can go to page 126 and there you can check the corresponding dialogues and to identify to which person each dialogue corresponds. The possible persons are Tony and Mary, Theo, Janine, In the following page, you will have Mikey, Laura, and Elsie. So please go to that page and identify the corresponding dialogues for every of these people. Well, so once that you have completed that, now you need to answer these specific questions from number 1 to number 6. So, for example, the number 1 is, what is Laura going to study? How long does her course last? So if you check the information that we have there at page 126, the correct answer for the question number 1 is that she's going to study geography and that the course lasts 3 years. So please, you need to continue doing the same for the rest of the questions. You should take around 10 minutes to answer them. Well, when you have finished that, you can continue with activity number 3. Their instructions are, here are some answers. What are the questions? Ask and answer with a partner. Well, in this case, individually, of course. For example, the answer number 1 is Cambridge University. And there you have a prompt, which is the word that you have to use at the beginning of the question. In this case, precisely is which. So, what is the question that you can form with this? Actually is, which university is she going to? And the answer is to Cambridge University. Well, so using the same information at page 126, you can formulate the questions for these answers. Remember that through our WhatsApp group, we're going to be checking the answers to these ones when you have finished checking this video. Well, after this, we can go to the next page where we have the explanation of the language focus. So we're going to go in here to this blue square. We have the point number 1 that says, do these sentences refer to the present or the future? So let's check them. The first one says, Mary's having a baby soon. At the moment, I'm packing. I work in the city. The plane leaves at 10:30. Okay, so you can take around 2 minutes to identify if the sentences are referring to the future or to the past. Okay, so the first sentence is referring to the future, but it is using a present continuous form. Mary's having a baby soon. The second one, at the moment, I'm packing. This is using once again present continuous, and it refers to a present action, to something that is happening at the moment. The number 4, I work in the city. Well, as you can see, this is present simple and refers to a situation that is fixed and that is always true. The fourth sentence says, the plane leaves at 10:30. In this case, we are also using simple present, but to express a future event on a schedule. All right, so now let's move on to the point number 2. The question says, what's the difference between these sentences? The first sentence is, what do you do in the evenings? What are you doing this evening? The second pair, get in the car, I'll give you a lift. And in front of that we have, I'm going to give Dave a lift to the airport tomorrow. The third pair, we'll have supper at 8 o'clock. We'll be having supper at 8 o'clock. I'll write the report tonight. I'll have written the report by tonight. Well, so you can take around 3 minutes to analyze the sentences and to try to check the difference between them. Well, so now let's explain them. In the case number 1, or in the first pair of sentences, what do you do in the evenings is a question in simple present, because it is asking about routines or habits. The question that is in front what are you doing this evening? Is a question in present continuous to talk about a future arrangement or a future plan. This one, get in the car, I'll give you a lift. This is a sentence in simple future with will and is reflecting a spontaneous decision. The second one, I'm going to give Dave a lift to the airport tomorrow. In this case, we are using future with going to talk about a plan that we have made before the moment of speaking. In this case, we'll have supper at 8 o'clock. Well, once again, this is future, simple future with will to talk about a decision that we have decided at the moment. We'll be having supper at 8 o'clock is a sentence in future continuous that reflects an action that will be in progress at a specific time. In the fourth couple, I'll write the report tonight. In this case, we're using once again future with will to express a promise, something that we are committed to do at a specific time, in this case tonight. And the sentence that we have in front, I'll have written the report by tonight. In this case, we are using present perfect to express an action that must be completed before a deadline, in this case tonight. Well, guys, so if you want to check more examples for to use these different types of future, you can go to page 144 and there you can find more examples. All right. Well, so we're gonna finish this video here. In the next one, we're going to explain the activities for the practice lesson. All right, guys, so we stay in touch.